What's going on YouTube? JT Barn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Suicide Squad number 26, which is part 3 of the Gotham Resistance storyline. Welcome to Poison Ivy's Jungle. So if you've been following along with the last couple of videos I've posted, I talked about the Teen Titans number 12, then I talked about Nightwing number 26, and now we're on to the third of the 4-part crossover. That's a Dark Knight's Metal tie-in. So if you remember the end of the last issue, they went toe-to-toe with Mr. Freeze, and now they're going to go toe-to-toe with Poison Ivy this time around. So let's go ahead and summarize what happens in here. By the way, between the two cover arts, this one and this one, I kind of like this one a little bit more. I think it showcases Killer Croc, Green Arrow, Robin, all of them. I think the cover here looks slightly better, but I digress. But anyways, so as the issue begins, we get kind of a brief recap of the day before, where Amanda Waller sent in the Suicide Squad, which, as you know, was Boomerang, Deadshot, Enchantress, Harley Quinn, Killer Croc, to investigate all the shit going on in Gotham, because she has no clue what's happening. So here they are, they're facing off against different hordes of enemies. They're trying to get to the top of the mountain to get to hopefully find Batman. Damian's trying to drive. This is mostly from Harley's point of view. He's kind of really ticked off, per usual. There's a lot of arguing, there's a lot of banter. There's some fun stuff right here. Like, I like the facial expressions in the animations. Like, whose idea was it? Harley Quinn's like, oh, I got a great idea. I got an excellent idea, so I'm going to just drive this thing right off this cliff. Wait, whose idea was this? Quinn! I don't want to die. So again, this panel and the art style kind of makes it seem funny. I really like the dynamic here, because, like, again, this is the Suicide Squad, you're adding in heroes in that, and the way they play off each other is quite well. I actually quite like this Gotham Resistance team a lot. I wouldn't have minded some more issues with them, because I think they're a lot of fun, the way they play off each other. So basically, they end up crashing. Green Arrow thinks, it's like, oh, wow, it's amazing that you're able to see this from all the way up there. But, Harley, of course, was wrong, but it turns out to be Poison Ivy, which, as you know, best friends with Harley Quinn, sometimes lovers, sometimes married, all that other crazy stuff. And she's like, hey, bestie, you gonna help me out here? And Ivy's just like, no, I'm gonna feed you to my plants. But then the demonic versions of the Teen Titans show up. Starfire wants them for the Batman Who Laughs, and I guess they've been mind controlled. I can't remember what happens next. I'm doing these one issue by one issue, so at the time, I didn't read the following issue after this, because I just kind of wanted to, like, be more surprised rather than go back, read it all, and then kind of come back here. But anyways, so they're basically doing their thing, and they go toe-to-toe with the other. So the Titans come in, and they kind of go face them off one by one. Nightwing seems to be getting various visions. He thinks Batman is done for. We have this demonic Robin. Let me tell you what happened Robin to Robin. They're facing off against these different members. Harley Quinn just tries to hit her with a mallet, but of course her mallet doesn't do anything. We have Killer Croc going up against demonic Beast Boy. The Suicide Squad's coming in here. Green Arrow. Basically everybody's fighting. Poison Ivy's getting pissed off. Nightwing's facing off against this Robin. The evil Robin, I should say, and they're all kind of going toe-to-toe. Damian helps Nightwing out of there. There's nowhere to run, Grayson, yada, yada, yada. Killer Croc comes and does kind of a noble thing and stays behind to fight. Harley's upset about it. There's a bit of a hopelessness to the storyline. Obviously, Dark Knight's Metal would eventually have a certain ending, but this is still, like, at that point where the heroes kind of feel like out of it, like they've lost. There's no real hope in this world, so heroes and villains, so they think they're getting closer to the mountain. Now they decide that they got to kind of go and climb the thing. They come across Mad Hatter. They come across all these different villains, so on and so forth. As you can see right here, Nightwing thinks that Batman isn't here, and he thinks that he's dead, much to Damian not giving up. He's like, and Dick is there to comfort him, and kind of the issue ends where it seems like things are kind of hopeless, and they have to kind of go even further with this thing, and Mr. Terrific shows up, and it kind of sets up the final issue of the story arc. So there you go. Last line of the issue is Damian going to. Mr. Terrific shows up, and they're going to keep going and trying to see where they can go from here. But yeah, so that's the Suicide Squad issue. A lot that happened this time around. I like the stuff. So there's some really funny moments with Harley Quinn and the reactions of the various heroes, playing off Harley's kind of like cluelessness in a way. Again, it felt like classic Harley Quinn, especially from the animated series, watching some of this stuff. Like, the instances were like, oh, you had a great idea here. Yeah, I totally did. When she was wrong, when she really had no idea. She's just crazy, kind of doing her thing. But I like the stuff. There's some funny reactions. Again, I think putting Damian against like all these different characters and just seeing him kind of banter with them, it makes the issue a lot of fun. It's like a great utilization of him in this issue. And Dick Grayson, of course, being Dick Grayson, being the kind, caring older brother / father figure that he is, I like those moments with him in it. Green Arrow adding to this. It's just, I really like this team. I don't know what it is, but I think they have a really fun dynamic that I wish I could see more of. Again, I'm kind of bummed that Green Arrow isn't really in anything at the moment. I haven't seen him in a comic book in quite a while, now that ever since his series ended. Like, I guess he was going to go off and do other things, but he's been pretty much absent for most of this stuff, and that's really unfortunate because I really like Green Arrow. And again, having Harley thrown in there, having Nightwing, Damian, Killer Croc, they just play off each other really well. Again, this is a unique team up, but again, I think it's really good. I really would like to see more stuff with these characters playing off against each other and the way they should be properly written. It makes for some really fun dynamics. There's some good action. The art style is kind of like a little daunting at first. I don't know if I'm the hugest fan of it. Like, it just feels... It's very different from the previous issues in terms of art style. And again, it's... So, in some ways, it's kind of off-putting. Some bits I kind of like. Other bits, I'm like, I think for, like, facial expressions like this, I think it works. But some bits, like, I don't know, it's just kind of more of a preference thing. And this isn't my ideal preference for art style. It's still good, mind you. It's way better than anything I ever could do. But there's certain elements that just kind of, like, I don't know, it just doesn't click with me as much as the other stuff. Not to say it's bad. I still think it's good. But I kind of prefer other art styles. But there's still some good stuff in here. I'm excited to see how this whole thing ends. I can't remember how it ends, so it should be kind of fun for me to revisit and see how this arc ends. I don't know if it's like... if it's a complete ending or if it's kind of like an anticlimactic one. So I'll let you know when I get to the final part of that story arc, and then once we finish that, then we'll move on to the next issue of Teen Titans, which is the Return of Kid Flash storyline, and we'll keep moving from here. I am doing my hardest to try and power through all these issues before the final Teen Titans issue comes out on November 17th, I believe it is. So at the time of recording this video, which is, what is it? November 5th, 6th? I can't remember anymore. But yeah, so that's it. That's my quick impressions. Overall, it's still a pretty good issue. I'm really enjoying the Gotham Resistance story arc. I like the dynamics. I like the way the characters play off each other. And I like the humor. I'm very much enjoying this. I'm kind of missing this now, seeing where we're at with a lot of the books. I really miss this fun dynamic. And I hope that post Dark Knight's death metal, we get something similar to this again. I just want to have fun reading and enjoying a lot of the comic books again, because I felt like we were doing well up to Dark Knight's metal, and then kind of after that we had this brief period of we're okay, and then Justice League No Justice happened, and ever since that event it's just been kind of downhill for DC Comics. There's a few highlights here and there, but it hasn't quite matched the excitement pre-No Justice. So I think I might even talk about Justice League No Justice, since that's kind of the end of a lot of things, and then I'll be pretty much done with all that stuff. So anyways, what are your thoughts on Suicide Squad number 26? Let me know in the comments section down below. Be sure to hit that bell for notifications, like this video, share it, and as always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I'll see you all in the next video, which will be on the Green Arrow issue. So, yep, bye-bye.